Alright guys, so for this video we're going to be working on some combination drills. In this one we're focusing on a form structure which I'm calling a mirrored combination. So what I mean by this is, generally speaking, when we're doing these combo drills, we're keeping things very linear. So we start with A, B, C, and then that's it, does not repeat. What we'll be doing here, however, is going from A to B to C and then looping back from C, B to A. So we're creating this sort of mirrored circular form structure. So we're just going to work through 4 different combos. I'm going to demonstrate them real quick and then we'll pop on some music. So for this one, it is assumed that you know and you're pretty comfortable with basic technique, because we are going to be throwing in some variations and some stylistic choices here. So with that said, get warmed up a little bit and then you can join me, or just if you're ready to go right now, you can just follow along. Okay, so first combination that we're going to be looking at is starting with a 3-point turn. So that's going to be open to the back, open in place, followed by our rock step 2, which is a flat toe, 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 and you'll take it around yourself, toe, toe, flat toe, toe, toe. And from here, going into our modified grapevine, which is going to be a step out, back, open, step out, back, open, and we'll repeat that twice. Step out, back, open. And then finally, we will be taking our basic pivot step. So again, it's a twist and twist. This one, we'll take it with a half turn and back to the front. And again, since we're doing a mirrored combination here, we'll loop back around to our modified grapevine, into our rock step 2, around ourselves, and then finally with our 3-point turn. And then from here you can loop back again with your 3-point and so forth. So we'll just be kind of rattling through that a few times in this drill. Second combination is going to be a little bit more of a American transnational style flavored combo. So for this one, we're going to take our 3/4 hip shimmy, and with this it's a very big, sort of wide 3/4 on the up, and we're going to take that to our 4 points. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 into our 3/4 shoulder shimmy, hip, drop, hip, lift, 3/4 shoulder shimmy, drop, hip, lift. And then from here we'll take it into a step, step, drop, drop. So the mechanics of this is we're more or less taking a 4/4 step in our basic vocabulary, but adding a releve and a flat to it, and just doing some basic hip lifts, hip drops. So I'm going to repeat that one more time. So we step, step, drop, drop, step, step, drop, drop, step, step, drop, drop, on the toes, drop, drop, on the toes, drop, drop, step, step, drop, drop. And for this combo, we're going to take that actually into a triangular shape. So we'll hit our front point, back corner here, back corner here, and then back to the front. So just to demonstrate, it's a step, step, drop, drop, step, step, drop, drop, step, step, drop, drop, step, step, drop, drop. And again, since this is a circular repetition that we're working with from here, we're going to take it back to our shoulder and our hip drop, hip lift, shoulder, hip drop, hip lift, and then finally back to our 3/4 on the up, that nice big swing to all 4 corners. Okay, then from there, so those are going to be kind of our two a little bit more percussive, faster paced mirrored combos, and then we'll kind of slow it down a little bit into two slower, a little bit more ooey gooey combinations. So here we're going to take a variation on our hip figure eights. So generally speaking, we're looking at a horizontal or vertical hip eight, but here we're going to do kind of fusing the two together, almost creating this sort of diagonal hip figure eight. I've also heard this called the Cairo eight, but for our purposes, we'll just keep it diagonal hip figure eight. So what you'll end up doing is taking that sort of mechanics of our vertical hip figure eights, going up to down, but as opposed to being on this frontal plane, you're just gonna kind of twist that hip forward a little bit so that we're working with this diagonal plane, and you're lifting the hip up, and as you come in, the foot's going to release down or release out, and the hip is going to drop in, and then that's going to leave this hip ready to go, lifting, coming in, and dropping down. And then on the other side, we come forward, drop, forward, drop. So that hip comes from the back to the front, drop from the back, front, drop, 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 drop. All right, so it's this kind of three-dimensional hip figure eight that's happening along several planes, and it's very gooey and very flowing all the way through the body. So this is not necessarily a strict isolation in the hips. You can kind of bring it up into the upper body, flowing through the torso and down through the leg. All right, so that's the first move in this combo. Second, we're going to kind of ground down into our chest circles, and those chest circles are going to come into a single hip circle. Really paying attention to that point of connection. So we can just sort of abruptly do a chest circle, stop, and then bring that circle into the hip, but we really want to think about that movement flowing all the way across this diagonal line in the body, like so. All right, and since this is a mirrored combo, we're gonna bring that back up through the body and take that single hip circle on the other side. And we took the chest going counterclockwise to start, so we'll take it clockwise as we bring it back up. And then from here, going back into our diagonal, three-dimensional hip figure eight, like so. Okay? And then last but not least, this is going to be kind of a fun little snaky fusion-inspired combination. So to start, we're going to take a nice big arm scoop from down here, coming all the way up, thinking about creating almost this cobra hood through space, coming up over the head. And then from here, bringing the arms down into a nice, soft arm undulation. And from there, we are going to take that undulating movement into the torso with our side undulation. So we slide the chest over, lift up on the right, and as we lift, that hip is coming through and dropping back down as we're lifting on the opposite side, and the hip follows through and comes back down. So into our side undulation. Followed by a nice little head circle. So this is one of those movements that is not really included in our basic foundational vocabulary, but the mechanics of it more or less are you're thinking about sliding the head, bringing the chin forward, sliding the head to the other side, and then bringing the chin back and just smoothing it out like so. And from there, we are going to go into an arm weave and using our swim variation. So just to review, our swim is kind of like this, up above the head. And to mirror, we come back with a little head circle into our side undulations, back into our arm undulation, and then finally the arm scoop back up. Okay, so that's a breakdown of all of our combinations that we're going to do in this drill. And from here, we're just going to pop some music on and just jump right in.